Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to do a 2023 recap of the coin and precious metal market. We're going to talk about how gold and silver were impacted, talk about the highs and lows, and we're going to talk about collectible coins and how they fared over the calendar year as well. Did they go up in value? Did they go down? Were they stagnant and they stayed flat? Stick around and find out. Hey everyone, we're going to start by talking about how gold and silver both performed in 2023. First, we'll start with gold. Gold opened the year at approximately $1,824 per ounce. It hit an all-time high December 4th, 2023 at $2,115 per ounce. It hit a low during 2023 in late February at $1,811 per ounce. Now, gold price currently sits at about $2,067 an ounce, and that is as of December 29th as I film this. So based on opening gold price and current gold price, that's a 13.28% increase. Gold would have been a great investment to start out the year in 2023, looking backwards. Now, silver, it's a little bit of a different animal. Silver opened the year at $23.96 per ounce. It hit a high in April, mid-April, at a little over $26 per ounce. And 6 weeks prior to that, it hit its low for the year at $20 per ounce. Silver currently sits at about $23.76. So based on its opening price and current price, silver's down about 1% in the year 2023. Now, having said that, both silver and gold had a very wild ride this year. There were a lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys if you look at the charts. And with peaks and valleys, there's opportunity. And I've put out several videos throughout the course of this year where I personally felt where it was an opportunity to pick up gold or silver on the dip, per se. And what we mean by on the dip is when, if you look at a chart as the line starts going downward, before it starts coming back up, that's the dip. The bottom is the dip. And I was pretty darn close to being spot on a few of these. Lucky guess, quite honestly, but there were opportunities. You know, silver did trade within a $6 window. Doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking $24 silver, a $6 swing is 25%. So there were definitely opportunities. More obviously, gold was a good opportunity. You didn't have to really time the peaks and valleys as much because as we sit right now, gold is near an all-time high near the end of the year here. So there was definitely opportunity there. Having said that, I stacked silver all year long. I did not purchase any gold for myself. I did acquire some through some trading, but I didn't, in my mind, set out and say, I'm going to buy some gold today. Obviously, that's not true for the shop. With shop inventory, we have to have gold. Gold is a very popular metal, moves in and out quite frequently, so I always kept a good shop inventory. But in my own personal stack, I only stacked silver this year. And not just what I'm showing you, because what I'm showing you on the tray here, all this is American silver. This still remains one of the most popular, especially right now, because premiums have finally become more affordable again for both 90% silver coinage and American silver eagles. So the American is always a popular choice, despite the higher cost versus privately minted pieces. So having said that, 2024, what does that outlook look like for metals? Well, one thing to pay attention to in 2023, as I said, gold went up 13.3% and silver was down about a negative 0.1%, so a negative 0.1%. So silver was essentially flat. Gold went up 13%. Now, what does that mean? Now, I've always been a ratio guy, and I've put out several videos about the gold to silver ratio. And if you're not sure what that is, it literally is the spot price of gold divided by the spot price of silver. Today, it currently sits, and I didn't check this ahead of time, and I should have, but it currently sits, I'm guessing, around 86 to 1, meaning it takes 86 ounces of silver at spot price to purchase an ounce of gold. I think that's way out of whack. It's way out of whack versus historical averages. And I did a whole video on that as well. I'll link that in the description. But that just signals to me, not that necessarily gold is overvalued in relation to silver, but silver is undervalued in relation to gold. Now, granted, that's just an opinion, not financial advice. That's just what I believe, and that's how I'm basing my metal purchases on. So that tells me that silver is a better value right now compared to gold because it's undervalued. So, what do I think 2024 is going to do? Well, 2024, as you all know, is an election year. It's going to be a very important election year. And I know we've heard this before, but it may be the most important election year of your lifetime. So get out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Don't miss the opportunity to use your voice. I encourage everyone to vote. But anyway, election year, metals tend to react in times of uncertainty. And if you look back historically, election years, oftentimes, whether or not it's pre-election or post-election, can be labeled as uncertainty. Metals tend to react, and metals tend to react in a positive manner because they're viewed on by investors as more of a safe haven asset versus having money in the stock market or other things. So I personally think the outlook is good for metals in 2024 because there's a lot of things going on, not just in our own country, but globally, that can impact investor sentiment, that can impact how metals behave. So I truly believe, we're one crisis away from seeing a huge spike in metals. Nobody's rooting for that crisis, but it could happen. I mean, things are setting up and the stage is being set for, without getting too deep, for a lot of things to happen in the next 12 months. So I truly look at 2024 to be bullish for metals. So we will see. But what am I buying myself? I'm still sticking with silver. Because like I said, it's compared to gold, it's been a sleeper. Gold tends to lead, silver tends to follow, and oftentimes silver will overtake gold in terms of gains. So we're kind of at that point now, I believe, that silver's lagging behind, meaning it's a good time to pick up more. Because I do think we're going to look back and wish, man, I wish I would have picked up more silver when it was $24 an ounce. And that's where we sit today. Granted, I'm not saying it can't go lower because there's always pullbacks in the market. So take that for what it's worth. Next, we're going to talk about the collectible market. Now, collectible market, I'll talk about how 2023 compared to 2022. And once I dug in and pulled some real numbers, I was honestly quite shocked. So I'll show you what I mean. So we have a couple collectible coins here. Here's an 1891 Carson City, a 1922 $20 gold piece. These are considered collector coins because they have additional value versus the metal inside, because this only has $18 worth of silver in it. This has about $1,960 worth of gold, okay? So I didn't use these two coins in particular for my examples, but I pulled some more well-known key date collector coins and compared their prices from December 2022 to December 2023 in my wholesale dealer book. The results are shocking. First coin I'll talk about is, and I'm sure everyone's heard of this, is a 1909 S VDB Lincoln cent. Now I use the grade of a very fine 20 because that's kind of a middle of the road coin. In December 2022, that coin was worth $925 wholesale, dealer to dealer. Flash forward an entire year, it now lists at $930, a $5 jump. Didn't even keep up with inflation, quite frankly. Next, an 1885 Carson City Morgan silver dollar in MS65. That's a semi-key date. Pretty good condition being an MS65. In 2022, December, that booked out at $1,150. In 2023, it books out at $1,175, a measly $25 jump. Next one we'll talk about is a $20 gold coin, similar to this one, but more of a collector coin, a 1921 St. Gaudens in MS60. In December of 2022, that booked out at $32,000. in December of 2023, that actually saw a pretty good gain. Now it books at $36,000. But when you put that into perspective, it's no different than having a common date Morgan silver dollar worth $32 in 2022 to have it be worth $36 in 2023. It sounds a whole lot less exciting when you put it into that perspective, but that's the same percentage up and down. And then lastly, I thought I'd look up a 1916D Mercury dime, which is the key date to the series, in XF40, which is kind of a middle of the road condition. In 2022, that booked out at $5,400. In 2023, a year later, exactly the same price, $5,400. So collectible coin didn't have a very good year. In most cases, in fact, I think all cases, the values of these coins, December of 2022 versus December of 2023, did not keep up with inflation. That's incredibly disappointing, especially for those that put a lot of their investment dollars into collectibles. Now, granted, I'm sure there's some examples that did quite well as far as appreciation, but I just picked some common ones that I'm familiar with, checked them out in the price guides, and I was shocked that they didn't see much more of an increase. For perspective, I did use one gold coin in that example, and as I stated earlier, the price of gold did go up 13.3% spot price during the calendar year. So we would expect that that one would have jumped the highest. So were collectible coins a good place to have your investment income in 2023? Not really. You'd have been better off just putting it into bullion gold in hindsight. You know, there would have been times during the year where if you bought at the low and held on, you'd be up 13.3% today. Arguably, we can say a similar thing about silver. Had you bought at the low of silver during the year of $20 an ounce and held, now silver's at about 24. That's a 20% jump. So for what it's worth, or the low to current, silver had a higher swing than gold. So what are you going to invest in 2024? Based on what I just told you in terms of gold and silver prices, in terms of values on collector coins, where do you think is a good place to put your investment income? I, for one, I'm such a believer in silver. I truly, truly am. And I know I'm not alone in that. I'm going to be putting my money into silver. I think silver, like I said earlier, has the best and biggest opportunity for gain. I think 2024 is going to be a very volatile year in the metals market. So hold on tight. So we will see. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. If you're not already, please consider subscribing and drop a comment down below as well. We truly appreciate it, and feel free to share the video too. I get several people that watch the videos that message me saying, yeah, I shared your video. I really do appreciate that. The more people that can put eyes on this and learn from this and learn about gold and silver, I think the better off we will all be in the end. I truly believe everybody should own precious metal, and such a small percentage of the population does. So by sharing this video, talking about it with your friends, you truly can impact lives, and impact lives for the better for all of us, I truly believe. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Have a great day.